The conference room still smelled like celebratory champagne when I got the first call from my mother. My daughter, Sarah, had just been named vice president of operations at her consulting firm, the youngest person in company history to hold the position. She was 29 years old and had sacrificed everything for this moment. The partners had surprised her with the announcement during the quarterly meeting, and the entire office had erupted in applause. I'd been there to witness it, standing in the back of the room with tears in my eyes. "We need to talk about this party," Mom said, her voice carrying that particular edge I'd learned to recognize over 5 decades of being her daughter. That tone that meant she'd already made up her mind and was simply informing me of my required compliance. I was standing in Sarah's new office, watching her pack up her old desk 1 floor below. The promotion came with a corner office, a team of 12, and equity in the firm. She'd worked 80-hour weeks for 3 years straight. Missed holidays. Postponed relationships. Lived on coffee and determination. "The party's in 2 weeks, Mom. Everything's already booked." "That's what I'm calling about. Cancel it." I moved away from the window. "Excuse me. Your sister Amanda lost her job yesterday. Got laid off after 15 years. How do you think it's going to look, throwing some elaborate celebration while she's filing for unemployment?" My sister Amanda worked in marketing for a mid-size company, or had worked there. I'd known her position wasn't secure. She'd complained about restructuring for months, but she'd never actually looked for other opportunities. "Mom, I'm sorry about Amanda, but Sarah's been planning this for months. She invited colleagues, clients, friends from college. Then uninvite them. Family comes first. Amanda is devastated. She doesn't need to watch her niece parade around celebrating success while she's hitting rock bottom." Through the glass wall, I could see Sarah carefully placing her framed certifications into a box. She had a master's degree from Wharton, 3 professional certifications, a track record of turning around failing projects that had made her indispensable to the firm. "Sarah earned this, Mom. And Amanda didn't earn her layoff, did she? Life isn't fair. Sarah will have other promotions. This is about being sensitive to family in crisis. I'll call Amanda and congratulate her on new opportunities. Don't patronize me. Cancel the party or don't bother showing up to family events anymore. Your choice." She hung up before I could respond. I stood there for a moment, phone still pressed to my ear, watching my daughter organize her achievements into cardboard boxes. Then I walked down the hall to her new office. "Everything okay, Mom?" Sarah looked up from labeling boxes. "Your grandmother called." Her smile faded slightly. "Let me guess. She wants the party to be smaller? Different venue? Different date? She wants it cancelled. Amanda lost her job." Sarah set down her marker carefully. Too carefully. The way she did when she was fighting to stay composed in client meetings. "I see." I told her no. "It's okay, Mom. We can cancel. I don't need a party. You worked 3 years for this promotion, Sarah. And Aunt Amanda worked 15 years at her job. Grandma's right, it would be insensitive. Your aunt had 15 years to update her skills, network, or plan for this possibility. You sacrificed your 20s for this achievement." Sarah's phone buzzed. Then mine. Then hers again. Family group chat. My mother had posted, disappointed to learn some family members value showing off over supporting each other in hard times. Amanda is struggling and certain people are throwing parties. Disgusting. My sister joined in. "Thanks for the support during the worst week of my life. Really feeling the family love here." My brother added, "Maybe postpone?" Not asking for cancellation, just sensitivity. Then cousins started chiming in. Aunts. Even Sarah's younger cousin posted, "Kinda harsh to celebrate while Aunt Amanda is suffering." Sarah's face had gone pale. "Mom, let's just cancel. It's not worth this." "Okay," I said quietly. She blinked. Really? You're right. It's not worth this." I called the event coordinator that afternoon and canceled the reservation. Lost the deposit, but that was fine. Then I made several other phone calls. By evening I'd arranged something different. The next morning I picked Sarah up from her apartment at 9. She was dressed for work, assuming I was giving her a ride. "We have an appointment first," I said. "Mom, I have a team meeting at 10. I called your boss. You're taking a personal day." She gave me a concerned look but got in the car. I drove us to Pinnacle Tower downtown, the new luxury building that had just finished construction. 38 floors of glass and steel overlooking the river. Penthouses starting at $800,000. Why are we here? Sarah asked as I pulled into the parking garage. You'll see. The real estate agent met us in the lobby. Her name was Patricia, and she'd been helping me for the past 3 weeks, since before Sarah's promotion was even announced. Mrs. Thompson, wonderful to see you. And this must be Sarah. Congratulations on your promotion. Sarah looked at me. Mom. Let's see the unit, I said. We rode the elevator to the 36th floor. Patricia unlocked unit 3604 and gestured us inside. Floor-to-ceiling windows stretched across the entire western wall. An open-concept living area with hardwood floors gleaming in the afternoon sunlight. A kitchen with marble countertops and professional-grade appliances, the kind Sarah had pinned on inspiration boards for years. 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. A balcony overlooking the river and city skyline, with enough space for a small garden and outdoor furniture. The master bedroom had a walk-in closet bigger than her current apartment's bedroom. Sarah walked slowly through the space, running her hand along the marble kitchen island. She stepped onto the balcony and gripped the railing, looking down at the city 36 floors below. The river caught the sunlight, sparkling like scattered diamonds. Mom, what is this? Your promotion present. Since we canceled the party, I thought you deserved something more permanent. Patricia smiled and discreetly stepped onto the balcony to give us privacy. This is insane. These units cost $850,000. I know. I'm paying cash. Sarah sat down on the built-in window seat, staring at me. You can't afford this. I can actually. Your father and I bought rental properties in our 20s. We've been managing them for 30 years. We sold 3 of them last month. The equity was substantial. You never told me about rental properties. You never needed to know. We lived modestly, invested wisely, and didn't advertise our assets. Your grandmother thinks I'm a struggling middle manager who barely gets by. Let her think that. But this is too much. You worked 80-hour weeks for 3 years, Sarah. You missed holidays, birthdays, your own life. You earned a promotion that most people don't achieve until their 40s. Your grandmother wanted to take away your moment of recognition because your aunt, who refused to update her skills, network, or prepare for industry changes, finally faced consequences. That's not family support. That's demanding you diminish yourself to make others comfortable. Patricia came back inside. Shall we do the paperwork? I looked at Sarah. Your choice. We can walk away right now. Or you can own this penthouse by this afternoon. Sarah stood up slowly, walked to the window and looked out at the city below. Her city, the one she'd conquered through talent and determination. Let's do the paperwork, she said. We spent 2 hours signing documents. Patricia explained every detail of ownership, maintenance fees, and building amenities. By noon, Sarah held the keys to her new home. There's one more thing, I said as we walked to my car. I'm going to post about this on social media. Mom, that'll make things worse with the family. Good. Let them see what happens when you actually earn success instead of expecting everyone else to shrink for your comfort. That evening, I posted photos. Sarah holding her keys in front of Pinnacle Tower, the glass building gleaming behind her, standing on her balcony with the city behind her, the sunset painting the sky orange and pink, the view from her living room window showing the river and downtown skyline, a close-up of the ownership documents with her name clearly visible. The caption read, "Celebrating my daughter's VP promotion the right way. So proud of her achievements and sacrifices. Some people work 80-hour weeks for 3 years to earn their success. She deserves every square foot of this beautiful home. Hard work pays off when you refuse to settle for comfortable mediocrity." The family group chat exploded within minutes. Mom, this is disgusting. Flaunting wealth while Amanda suffers. Amanda, unbelievable. Thanks for rubbing my unemployment in my face. My brother. Was this really necessary to post publicly? But other comments started coming in too. Sarah's colleagues congratulating her. College friends celebrating. Professional contacts impressed by her achievement. The post got shared. Then shared again. By the next morning, my mother showed up at my house. Amanda was with her. So was my brother, David. We need to talk about your inappropriate behavior, Mom announced, pushing past me into my living room. Come in, I said drily. Amanda's eyes were red. How could you do this? I'm struggling and you're buying penthouses. I bought my daughter a penthouse because she earned it. Your employment status doesn't change her achievement. Family supports each other, David said. This is cruel. Sarah worked 80-hour weeks for 3 years. She sacrificed her entire 20s for her career. She earned recognition and celebration. Demanding she cancel her moment because Amanda finally faced consequences for failing to adapt isn't support. It's controlling. Mom's face flushed. Amanda worked 15 years at that company, doing the same job with the same skills while the industry evolved around her. Sarah constantly updated her certifications, expanded her expertise and networked relentlessly. That's the difference. So you're rich now? Amanda's voice dripped with bitterness. Just had $850,000 lying around? Your father and I invested in rental properties 30 years ago. We lived below our means, saved aggressively and built equity. We made financial choices that created opportunities. That's not luck, it's planning. And you never helped me? Amanda demanded. All these years you had money and rental properties and you watched me struggle? You never asked. And when I suggested you update your skills or expand your network, you said you were comfortable where you were. When I mentioned professional development courses, you said they were a waste of time. When I offered to connect you with people in your industry, you said you didn't need networking. Comfort doesn't create security, Amanda. My mother's hands shook. You've become cruel, materialistic. This isn't how I raised you. I taught you to be humble, to think of others first. You raised me to believe that success should be hidden to avoid making others uncomfortable. That achievement should be diminished so unsuccessful people don't feel bad. That women especially should make themselves smaller to avoid threatening anyone. I raised Sarah differently. I taught her that hard work deserves recognition and that other people's choices aren't her responsibility to fix. She could have postponed the party, David said quietly. She could have. And then what? Postponed her next promotion party when someone else has a setback? Turned down opportunities because they might make others feel inadequate? Spent her life shrinking so everyone else feels comfortable? No. She earned this. She gets to celebrate it. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find Sarah still in her work clothes, holding a folder. Grandma, Aunt Amanda, Uncle David, she said, walking past them to the dining table. She spread out the papers. Since we're all here, I should show you these. Ownership documents. Building amenities guide. Mortgage information showing paid in full. Amanda stared at the papers. You really bought this? Cash. Mom bought it. I'm signing the final ownership transfer today at 3. While I'm unemployed. Great timing. Sarah looked at her directly. Aunt Amanda, I'm sorry you lost your job. That's genuinely difficult. But I worked 80-hour weeks for 3 years. I missed every family holiday. I postponed dating, friendships, hobbies. Everything. I earned this promotion through sacrifice and skill. Mom bought me this penthouse because she's proud of that work. Your job loss doesn't erase my achievement. Easy to say when you're standing in a penthouse. I'm standing in my dining room, actually. The penthouse is downtown. And yes, it is easier to say when you have success. That's why I worked for it. My mother gathered her purse. You've both made your position clear. Don't expect us at family events. Understood, I said. They left in a storm of slammed doors and muttered complaints. Sarah and I sat in silence for a moment. Are you okay? I asked. I'm signing ownership papers for a penthouse in 3 hours. I'm better than okay. We drove downtown together. Patricia met us at the building with the final documents. Sarah signed each page carefully, her hand steady. When she finished, Patricia handed her a leather portfolio with all the ownership records. Congratulations, Ms. Thompson. You're now the proud owner of Unit 3604. Sarah held the portfolio, looking down at her name on the documents. Visual. Permanent. My phone buzzed, the family group chat. My mother had posted a long message about family betrayal and materialism, and how success had corrupted her daughter and granddaughter. I muted the chat and put my phone away. Want to see your place again? I asked Sarah. As the owner this time? We rode up to the 36th floor. Sarah unlocked her door with her own key. Walked into her own home. Stood at her own floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out at her own view of the city. "Thank you, Mom," she said quietly. "Not just for this. For teaching me that I don't have to apologize for success. You earned every bit of this, sweetheart. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise." She smiled, and in that moment I saw everything I'd hoped to give her. Not just a penthouse, but something more valuable. The understanding that achievement deserves celebration, that hard work earns recognition, and that other people's failures aren't her responsibility to fix by diminishing herself. 2 weeks later, Sarah hosted a housewarming party. Her colleagues came. Her friends came. Professional contacts came. The people who celebrated her success instead of resenting it. The family group chat stayed muted on my phone. And somewhere in that beautiful penthouse, with the city lights spreading out below and the future stretching wide ahead, my daughter finally got the celebration she'd earned.